Hi girls, it's Mrs. O'Brien. So this is also new to us. I first want to say hello and let you know that I miss seeing you all in class. But we're going to try to continue our learning together. And I think at this point, the best thing for me to do is just to video myself explaining the PowerPoint section by section, and then I'll upload them to YouTube. And that way, you can look at the video. Hopefully it might clear up any questions you'll have about this section. So we'll start with chapter 3, which is about demand. So some of you already had this lesson while we were still in class together. Lesson 1, Fundamentals of Demand. I know one section we didn't get to it, so it's up to you if you want to view this video. All right, so let's get started. So basically, we're just going to talk about demand today, the law of demand. We're going to go through the substitution effect and the income effect, look at a demand schedule, and interpret a demand graph. Now, I've shared these PowerPoints with you already, so if you haven't already, perhaps pull up your PowerPoint so you can follow along with me. All right, so since this is, a little different than we're used to, I don't want to make these videos an hour long. So we'll kind of quickly go through some of the slides so we cover the material, and I'll, make sure I'm highlighting, obviously, the most important points that I want you girls to know. So if, you think about something that you want, a good that you perhaps want at this moment but don't have. So let's say we wanted the new iPhone 11, right? So what's stopping you from getting that new iPhone? Right? What's the approximate price? To be honest, I don't even know, but I'm going to guess it's about $1,000 for that phone. So what happened if the price of that phone went up 10%? More than likely, that would not, make you go buy that phone at a higher price. If the price went down 10%, so it went down to about $900, perhaps some of you might say, okay, it's on sale now, I'll purchase that phone. Probably some, but not all. What happened if the price of that phone went down 50%? So now a new iPhone 11 was $500, right? I bet more of you might be able to afford the phone at that price. So really this exercise is just to show you that all of these changes in price would trigger some sort of reaction to demand. And that's what we're going to talk about today. All right, so it's important to note that demand is the desire to own something and the ability to pay for it. So you have to be able to pay for it in order for you to truly have demand for that product or service. So if I say I would like to buy a Tesla, but I don't have the money to afford that, then I really don't have demand for that item. So just make sure that you realize that you need both of those components, the desire to own something and the ability to pay for it, in order to have actual demand. Okay? And if you learn nothing else from this quick video, just make sure you understand the law of demand. So when a good's price is lower, consumers will buy more of it, right? It just makes sense, right? So if a jean jacket was $50 at the Gap, some of us might buy it, but if that same jean jacket goes down to $10, a lot more people will buy that jean jacket, right? So if the price is lower, consumers will buy more of it, right? So that's really, really the essence of the law of demand. Okay, so one of the other things we want to look at today is called the substitution effect. So if an item is able to be substituted, that has an effect on demand. So say we were back at the NDA cafeteria, which I bet most of us would love to be back there right now, and say pizza was available every day for lunch. Okay, if a slice of pizza was $2 and then it got raised to $3, $4, $5, say $7 a slice, more girls would stop buying pizza as it became more expensive, and they would substitute it, so there's the substitution effect, for something else, like a spicy chicken sandwich, penne vodka, whatever alternatives are available, right? So instead of eating pizza, say, every day for lunch, maybe you would just have it one or 2 days for lunch, right? You're going to substitute that. So you're reacting to that rise in price by consuming less of that pizza and substituting it for another good, okay? So It can also work if the price of something decreases. So if pizza becomes cheaper than all those foods, if pizza is $1 a slice, I bet a lot of girls would buy pizza at lunch just because, you know, people will demand pizza, at that $1 a slice. So remember, the lower the price, the more the demand. Okay? The income effect is the second thing we're going to talk about today. So that's simply the change in consumption that results when a price increase causes real income to decline. Okay? So this one's a little trickier to understand, but basically, say you make $200 a week at your job, your after school job, okay? And all of a sudden, you know, the price of movie tickets or shoes or pizza increases, right? And those are usually activities you partake in on a weekly basis with your salary. You know, that $200 isn't gonna go as far. So even though you have the same $200 paycheck this Friday as you did last Friday, you can't afford to go to the movies and buy yourself a new pair of shoes and go out for pizza on the weekends. So you can't afford everything and you have to cut back. So you're spending more money on pizza, but consuming less, okay? So it's really just the same thing. Like the income effect leads to a decrease in the quantity demanded. Your $200 can't purchase all of those things, can't purchase the movie tickets, can't purchase pizza dinner, etc. All right? So again, just like the substitution effect, it can also come into play when prices decrease. All of a sudden, if movie tickets are only $2, $3 a show, you feel wealthier. Instead of one movie a weekend, perhaps you can go to see two now, right? You feel wealthier, but again, you still have that same $200. All right, girls, almost done. So a demand schedule, again, just highlighting, you have to have demand for a product. You have to be willing and able to buy it, okay? So the demand schedule is simply just listing the quantity of a good that a person will purchase at a various price in the market. So on the left, the green is for an individual. That would be like my demand for pizza. On the right is total market demand. So again, just as I said, the most important thing you need to remember about demand, is if the price is lower. So at $1 a slice, I'm going to eat or demand 5 slices a day. At $6 a slice, as the price goes up, I'm not going to get any pizza, right? So as you can see, as the numbers increase, the quantity demand per day decreases, okay? So it's that inverse relationship. And the difference between an individual demand schedule is that's my individual pizza preferences or my demand for pizza. The market demand is just sampling a bigger group. So if I surveyed all NDA students in the cafeteria one day, right? And that would be their amount demanded. So now I'm sampling, 400 students. But look, the relationship is the same. At $1 a slice, 300 slices are demanded. At $2, $2.50. So as the price goes up, the demand goes down. And then simply, if you take those numbers, and this isn't math class, but you would just plot those numbers onto a graph. So the vertical axis has the slices of pizza per day. The horizontal axis, see, I'm not a math teacher, has the slices of pizza per day. The vertical axis has the price per pizza. You're plotting those points from this demand schedule on the previous slide to simply graph it. But again, it has the same relationship. And you're just going to read that again. So this is Ashley, so that's the individual. This is the market. So if this was mine and this was every student at the cafeteria, you're just reading that the demand slopes downward and to the right as price increases. Okay, so as price increases, quantity demand decreases. Higher prices lead to lower demand. Okay, that's all right. So that is it for lesson 3.1. Hope this was informative. There'll be another video on topic 2, shifts in the demand curve.